Hi guys, Darth Deuce here with another Marvel Legends action figure review. Today we're going to be taking a look at a figure that I've been wanting for a while, and it is the Marvel Legends new Spider-Man Wave Marvel's Mysterio figure. This is the Lizard BAF wave. The release of this wave has been spotty at best. It's been hitting the States here and there. It's starting to show up in Canada up here. The comic book shops literally just got it in today. I got this from a comic book shop. No idea if retail stores are getting them in yet. Paid a little more for them than retail, but it wasn't too much over. So, and I'm skeptical if I'm actually going to find them in retail. So, either way, I'm really happy I got this one. This is one of the main figures I've been wanting for this year so far. Yeah. So let's take a look at the packaging real quick. And obviously, as you can see, it's the standard sort of Marvel Legends packaging we've been getting for years now. It is Spider-Man waves. You got the Spider-Man logo there. Legend series, Marvel's Mysterio, Hasbro logo. On the top here, you've got the Spider-Man logo, and you've got the Marvel's Lizard is the BAF. Got a pretty cool image of Mysterio. It's the same on every side, just reversed. Pretty cool product shot of Mysterio. A really brief bio, which is a master of illusion. Mysterio seeks universal fame as a cloaked villain with an unmistakable helmet. So it basically tells you nothing about the character, but if you're buying this figure, you probably know the character enough. There's the BAF, which looks pretty cool. And the other figures in the wave, you got Gwenpool, Prowler, Spider-Punk, Spider-Man Noir, Spider-Woman, Mysterio, and Lasher. I'm pretty sure they all come with parts of the BAF. Yeah, I think so. It's a pretty cool looking wave. Mysterio is the only one I really wanted from this wave. I kind of want Spider-Man Noir, but I could see myself easily passing on that. The rest, Gwenpool looks cool, but the rest I'm just not very overly invested in as characters. Anyway, so let's crack this guy open. We'll take a close look at the figure. Alright, now we got Mysterio out of the packaging. And it's a pretty cool figure. It's got a lot of things that I like about it. There's a few small things that I wish they would have done differently, but for the most part, this is a really, really cool figure. Mysterio's one of my favorite Marvel, or not Marvel, Marvel, but Spider-Man villains. I don't really know why. He's got no superpowers, but I guess it's just the look and the fact that he can cause so many problems for so many heroes without having to have superpowers is pretty cool. I don't know. But I really like the figure. I really like the design. Before we take a look at him, though, I will just do a quick look at the BAF piece here, which is the left leg of the Lizard. And like I said, I doubt I'm going to be reviewing this BAF, but here is the BAF piece. It looks really good. The sculpting is actually really nice on this. But yeah, not really much else to talk about there. But let's talk about Mysterio now. And it's really cool. A lot of good stuff. As far as I know, it's a completely new sculpt, which is really cool. Do have some issues, and probably just one of the most blaring issues. Not like I say, it's not a huge issue, but I'm not the biggest fan of the color choices they decided to go with. I'd say this is definitely sort of a more classic first appearance sort of look. They decided to go with the green looking gauntlets and the purple eyes. I much prefer it when the eyes, gauntlets, and boots are the gold color, like the Marvel Universe was from a few years back. I much prefer that look. I think the gold contrasts nicer against the purple and the green. But this still doesn't look bad at all. It's just that's more of a personal preference than anything. I'm looking at him here. You got the orbed helmet, and you can see the head underneath, which we'll get to in a second. But the orb helmet, the fishbowl helmet, looks really good. It's a nice circular shape. It's got this fogginess to it. From a distance, it's definitely hard to see the face underneath. Up close, it's a little more obvious, which is a little annoying, but it's not too bad. Yeah, it looks pretty cool. I like that. And the cloak is also really cool. I like it better than the old Toy Biz one, which I will be comparing, and I have reviewed already not that long ago. But it's pretty cool. You got some nice sculpting work on the cape itself, and they sculpted it to get that sort of swooping over his shoulders kind of effect that it looks like in the comics, which I think is really cool. So you got that big thing going down like that. It's really nice. It's quite wide and looks really cool. That's how it looks in the comics, so I like that a lot. Or generally speaking, whenever he's wearing the cape, there's a few instances where he doesn't. The cape itself also on the inside is really nicely sculpted. You got this really subtle but really nice sculpting detail. It's hard to tell, but sculpting, yeah, there you go, sculpting detail on the inside of the cape, which looks really, really cool. There's a peg in there as well, so if you want to, you can peg the cape to his torso, but that does sort of raise this part up a little bit more than I'd like it to, so I don't know. But it does keep it in place. Speaking of which, you can remove the cloak. The cloak and the helmet are both one piece and can't be removed, which is very similar, or it's the same as the Marvel Universe 3 Orange one. You just pull that off. It's not too hard to do. And then you can see the head sculpt underneath, which is this really cool sort of translucent skull with this like tentacles coming out of his mouth and going through his eye, which is really, really cool. There are actually two variants to this figure. There's this one with the clearer looking head, and there's another one that has, it's a green translucent plastic, so there's two different variants. I decided to get this one because I think it would look better with the helmet, and I think it does. And it's really cool. The sculpt of the skull looks really, really nice. The tentacles coming out of his skull also look really good, and they are pliable. You can move them a bit. So I think that looks really, really cool. The rest of the figures are honestly pretty simple, but you do have this new body, which has this really nice gridded, sculpted pattern on there, which is really nice. Looks really good. The green is a nice shade, and it's matted. Looks quite good. Got the hole there. The gauntlets are sculpted really well. You got that really nice design on the gauntlets there. The paint's really good. I really like the shiny green. At least they did the green well. I would like the gold, like I said, but the green looks good. And it's got like a wash over it to bring out the details. I love how the hands are sculpted. So you got this hand sort of in this gesturing pose like this, like reaching. And you got this one, which is like a grand gesturing sort of waving pose or whatever. That is pretty cool. I like that a lot. And then you get the legs. The musculature and the body size and everything is quite well proportioned. Looks pretty good. And you've got the boots, which are again that gold. It's a minimal sculpting work, but it is a nice shiny gold, or not gold, sorry, green. It's got some marbleization going on. I think it looks pretty cool. So yeah, 2 peg holes on the feet. Yeah, that's pretty much it for the sculpt and look. I think it looks really good. I like a lot of the sculpting design choices. I do wish the color schemes were a bit better. Like I wish it was used for gold, but they used the gold, but it's not a huge deal. Flip that around. Excuse me. Oh yeah, and the eyes here are sculpted really nicely, and they're painted in a shinier purple to contrast them from the dark purple of the cloak. So in terms of articulation, I guess I shouldn't have put on the helmet before I did this, but he does have the standard ball joint in the head with a hinge at the neck, so you get good motion, range of motion when the helmet's not on. Ball hinges of the shoulders, which are decently tight, and they move quite well. Rotation, obviously, because of the ball hinge. A swivel at the bicep. Double hinges at the elbows move quite good, especially considering the gauntlet. He doesn't have a gauntlet rotation, but he does have a rotation at the wrist as well as an up and down hinge, so that is cool. Ab crunch, which moves pretty good forward and back. A swivel at the waist, which moves good. Nice tight ball hinges at the hips, which move quite well. Swivel cuts at the thighs. Double hinges at the knees. Swivel cut at the boot, and hinges at the ankles with rocker joints. So he has all the articulation you would need on this figure, which is great. And in terms of accessories, he comes with some cool accessories. Obviously the BAF piece, and I guess if you want to count the helmet and the cloak. But he comes with these 2 effect pieces, which is really cool. Something they could have totally skipped if they wanted to kind of cheap out on this figure, but they didn't, which I'm really happy they didn't. You get these 2 effect pieces, which is really cool because Mysterio's whole stick is hallucinations and illusions, obviously. So you got this first piece, which has like these smoke and kind of swirls going on, like bubbles and whatnot. Look pretty cool. You got like these like tail or something coming out of there. There's a lot of really subtle details. Like there's some spiders sculpted right here, which is pretty cool. And And on this one, you got this big tentacle sculpted there. That looks kind of like a spider leg, though it's hard to tell. Like tentacles and whatnot, which is really, really cool. And it's really cool that he'll simulate or display him simulating his illusions, or even like usually in the comics he's walking around, he's got like the hallucination smoke or whatever, or smoke around him, so you can clip him onto his legs like so. These things are definitely meant to be attached to legs, but the cool thing is if you want, you can attach them to his arms if you want, or you can attach them to other figures to make it look like he's just, making them hallucinate, which is really cool. But you can definitely tell when you're putting them on the feet, they're meant to go on the feet. And you put them on the feet like that, and it kind of simulates like when he's walking around, it has like the illusions and the smoke and whatever going around. And I think that looks really, really cool. So now we will go on to some comparisons. First off, just with a more recent-ish Marvel Legends, here he is next to Deadpool, and they are about the same height, with Deadpool maybe being just slightly taller. So I think that makes sense. I think they scale well. And then here he is next to the Toy Biz Mysterio, which has been the Mysterio that people would have been using in their 6-inch collection for a while now. And yeah, there's things I like about this one. Like I said, I like the gold. I think the gold looks better. This guy maybe has some arguably better articulation, and the face gimmick is actually pretty cool. One thing this figure doesn't have is it would have been nice if he came with interchangeable Quentin back head, which doesn't come with. But like I said, not like I said, but this figure I think in the end is better. He's got way better proportions. They made this one insanely skinny for some reason. Articulation is better and funner to use on this one. The effects are really cool. The cape looks better. The domed helmet looks way more accurate. This one's not bad looking, but it's just weird that it kind of goes straight in at the bottom. And it's obviously to service the feature of the swapping heads, which is cool. But then you also have that button on a really obvious button on the back, which is kind of ugly. So they're both really good figures. I think this one still stands up relatively well, but this one is definitely the better one. And I would definitely pick this Mysterio figure up if you were a fan of the character. He is definitely a worthy replacement for the Toy Biz one. Maybe not the most essential character for people to have, so if you're not a Mysterio fan, it's probably an easy pass. But for everyone else, highly recommend it. A super cool figure that has a lot of great potential and just looks great on the shelf. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.